Circuit and the Greedy Dragon. One gloomy day at school, a young boy called Christopher was coloring a picture of a fierce dragon. He was feeling practically fed up as it was pouring with rain, so the children could not play outside.
Suddenly he saw a small golden pencil glistening brightly at the bottom of the pot. He had never seen this pencil before, and he instantly noted it was very blunt.
"I'll go and give it a little sharpen," he whispered to himself. "That will be a great gun for the dragon's claws."
So he wandered up to the empty classroom next door and began to sharpen.
In a heartbeat, he felt tingly all over and a sharp tugging at his school jumper. He was spun round and round ferociously until... Thud! He felt himself land on some soft, soggy grass.
Circuit, circuit. There's no time for naps in the forest. The king desperately needs you.
Puffed an unknown voice. He opened his eyes to see a small red-faced man running towards him through the trees.
Christopher jumped to his feet, looked himself up and down. He was dressed as a knight.
So he decided to follow the red-faced man, who must have been a servant of the king, to the palace.
After a long walk, he stepped nervously into the grand throne room and looked up at the noble king.
The king handed him a map and bellowed. Circuit, as you are such a kind, brave knight and so good at slaying dragons, rescuing princesses, and making my cocoa, I have decided to send you on a quest. You must go to Dragon Island and bring the magic box, which is guarded by a vicious, greedy dragon. The voyage will be dangerous, but I have chosen you because you are the bravest knight in the land. Good luck, Circuit, but beware of the dragon.
So Circuit left the palace and began his journey to Dragon Island through the green grassy kingdom. Swish, 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 swish. Over an old bridge, squeak, 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 and across the stormy sea, splish, splash, splish, splash. A few exhausting hours later, Circuit clambered over the jagged rock pools and onto the beach of Dragon Island. A few moments later, with his boots full of sand, Circuit was at the edge of the deep, dark forest. He wandered and he rambled and he scrambled through many thorny, spiky bushes until he arrived at the damp, shadowy cave. The first time Circuit looked into the cave, he saw gloomy shadows shivering. The second time Circuit looked into the cave, he heard heavy footsteps shuffling. The third time Circuit looked into the cave, he saw a gigantic pile of jewels. After a while, Circuit crept cautiously into the darkness and moved not one, not two, but 3 huge diamonds that glowed like firelights. Underneath the glittering jewels, he found the king's magic box. As quick as a flash, he picked it up. Unfortunately, there was something else inside the cave, something very large, something very hungry, something alive. It was the greedy dragon with teeth like daggers and claws like knives and jaws of the coldest steel. It shivered in the shadows, shuffled its wings and snorted its fiery breath.
In the space of a heartbeat, Circuit ran out of the dampy shadow cave, jiggity jog, with the dragon shivering and shuffling along behind him, snorting its fire breath.
Sooner rather than later, Circuit arrived back in the green grassy kingdom. Swish, swash, swish, swash. Just the nick of time, because the greedy dragon had
been very hungry. He hurried into the palace with his armor clattering as he ran clickety-clack, and handed the magic box to the happy and pleased king.
The king, brimming with glee, slowly opened the curious-looking box and gasped. Inside was a small golden pencil which slowly began to glow.
Suddenly the circuit felt the strange sharp tugging at his jumper once more, and in a flash
He was back along the hustle and bustle of the busy classroom with the small golden pencil glittering in his hand.
You've been sharpening that pencil for a long time, next door. What have you been doing? Barked his teeth, said Mrs. Jones. And Christopher smiled secretly to himself. Oh, nothing, he said quietly. Nothing really at all.